Japanese Tales, The Grateful Turtle. Fujiwara no Yamakage, who lived in Emperor Diogo's reign, loved best, among all of his children, a beautiful little son. The boy's stepmother also seemed to love him, even more than his father did, and this pleased Yamakage so much that he often let her take care of the child. In time, Yamakage was named Viceroy of Kyushu, and he set sail in a little convoy of ships, with all of his family, to take up the post. It did not worry him that he and the boy were traveling in different ships, since the boy was with his stepmother. Actually, though, the stepmother had been wondering all along how to get rid of this child. Along the Kyushu coast, she finally picked him up, held him over the gunwale as though to let him relieve himself, and then, pretending to adjust her hold, dropped him into the sea. The convoy was moving briskly under full sail, and had gone some way before she cried out that the young master had fallen overboard. Yamakage nearly jumped overboard himself. He sent men in a dinghy to look for his son, then stopped the convoy and swore he would go no further till he knew whether he was to have the boy back, dead or alive. The men rowed about all night in vain. Then, at dawn, as light was beginning to spread over the sea, they saw something small and white bobbing far off on the waves. It looked like a gull, and they were surprised that it did not fly away as they rowed closer. But soon they found it was the boy, riding on the back of a huge turtle, and merrily splashing at the waves with his hands. With sighs of relief they lifted him into the dinghy, and the tortoise slid into the deep. "Oh, here is the young master, sir," they cried in triumph when they got back to Yamakage's ship, and handed the boy back to his father. Yamakage wept tears of joy. The stepmother wept too, but in dismay, though she put on the best show of happiness that she could. She disguised her feelings so well that it never occurred to Yamakage to suspect her. Exhausted, Yamakage lay down in broad day while the convoy sailed on again, and dreamed that a huge turtle had lifted its head from the sea. It seemed to want to speak to him. When he reached the side of the ship, it said, "Have you forgotten? A year or two ago, a Cormorant fisherman caught me on the coast, not far from the capital, and you bought me from him and let me go again. I had been wondering ever since how to repay your deep kindness, and when you sailed, I thought it meet at least see you to where you were going. Last night I saw the young master's stepmother pick him up and hold him over the railing, and drop him into the sea. I caught him on my shell. Watch that woman carefully in the future." The turtle then drew its head back into the water and disappeared. As Yamakage woke up, he remembered how he had gone on pilgrimage to the great shrine at Shimushu, and had seen a Cormorant fisherman coming toward him in a boat. The head of a large turtle had been sticking up over the gunwale, and the turtle's eyes had met his. He had pitied the creature so very much that he had traded his own cloak for it, and let it go back into the sea. Why, this was the same turtle. He was very touched. Then he recalled with loathing how the stepmother had made such a spectacle of her grief. He hastily brought the little boy aboard his own ship, and was careful, even after he arrived, to keep the stepmother away from him. The stepmother then realized to her sorrow that he had understood who had tried to kill the boy. When Yamakage returned to Kyoto, he made the boy into a monk, and gave him the religious name Niomu, or as nothing, because having already died once, as it were, that was what the boy was. Niomo served the retired Emperor Uda, and achieved a high ecclesiastic rank. He ended up looking after his stepmother, who had had no son of her own, for the rest of her life. Oh, how deeply embarrassed she must have been.